I'm Dr. Jen, and I want to welcome you to In the Den with Dr. Jen. Here is what's in store for you this session. Women athletes and musicians, are they getting sexier in their media depictions? And is this good for young girls? The sexual fun fact, what happens to body image when teen girls lose their virginity? And I respond to a Dear Dr. Jen letter. Stay tuned. Today's Den Chat. When you think of famous female athletes, it's likely to evoke images of hot women athletes. And female musicians, likely a similar image. Marketing folks in music and sports unabashedly use sex to sell these images of women. But to what end? Let's start with musicians. A group of sociologists, yay sociologists, studied Rolling Stone magazine covers since the 1960s. And they found a huge difference in how female and male musicians were depicted, as well as an increasing sexualization of female musicians over time. To quote, "What we conclude from this is that popular media outlets such as Rolling Stone are not depicting women as sexy musicians or actors. They are depicting women and musicians as actors as ready and available for sex. This is problematic because it indicates a decisive narrowing of media representations of women." Now, they're not saying it's bad to depict women as sexy. The problem lies in the overall impact of the depiction of women as passive objects of sexual pleasure, which has been found to legitimate anti-woman attitudes, body image problems in women, and decrease sexual satisfaction in males and females. All right, now stay with me here. Let's move to female athletes now, sexy athletes. There's a lot of empirical research finding that compared male athletes where they found the emphasis on athletic prowess. But for sports women, they found an emphasis on their femininity and heterosexuality. And from a sports marketing perspective, recent research found that in the majority of cases, a sex sells approach actually offended the core fan base of women's sports, which are, anybody guess who the core fans are of women's sports? Women is the first one, yes. And the second one is fathers of young girls. So they found that sex is not selling women's sports. So for a country that likes to say, but what about the children?
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
We're doing a disservice to our children, particularly our little girls. And we're not talking about protecting them from knowledge and information. I'm talking about limiting the choices and role models so much that little girls learn to obsess over their sexual appeal to others. These role models matter to young girls, and I think we can all do more to pay attention to this. Sexual fun fact. According to recent research study at Penn State University on heterosexual males and females, when young women had sex for the first time, what happened to their overall satisfaction with their appearance, their body image? And I'll ask the audience, A, do you think it increased? Do you think their body image decreased, or that it didn't change? Okay, decreased. Oh. There you go. The whole background. Awesome. Yes, unfortunately the answer is B, it decreased. And that these were women, these weren't like 13-year-olds, they were 17 or older. And on the other hand, young men experienced an increase in their body image after they had sex for the first time. So why the difference? Seems to be connected to women's insecurities about their bodies and our heavy emphasis in society on women's appearance. And perhaps a sexual double standard, that sex for young women is shameful. So the experience apparently made women feel more self-conscious and negative about their bodies. No, very surprising. Okay, here's an email that I just received recently. Dear Dr. Jen, I was hoping you could help me with something. I've been dating my boyfriend for over 10 months now. I care a lot for him, but have not desired to have sex anymore. I thought it was birth control, so I switched twice. No change. I also noticed that when he rubs my shoulders or kisses my neck or ears, I get an overwhelming sensation, almost too much to handle and not necessarily a good sensation. I'm not sure if it's a mental thing, because when he kisses me, I automatically think he wants sex, and then I shut down. I don't know what to do. I know stress is probably a huge factor. I hope you have some advice. Thanks. Overwhelming sensation. Dear overwhelming sensation, awesome question, and I think there's several directions to go with this. My first question is, are you holding resentments against your boyfriend that haven't been addressed? That can make any of us tense up when we're touched. Second, stress does absolutely have a big impact on our sexuality, and quite a negative impact. It can deplete our sex drive, impact our sleep, make us more irritable, etc. Not feeling sexy, for sure. And third, it sounds like you might have moved from the excitement of the early phase of love, where you have an automatic sexual spark, and that perhaps that subsided some. So my advice overall is, first, gently and responsibly air your dirty laundry to address those resentments if you have them. Maybe write them down first and then approach your partner with a calm demeanor and an open heart. Second, start working in some daily deep breathing and meditation practices into your day to reduce stress and to bring you into the present moment. Now this doesn't have to be a lot of time. It can even just be at a stoplight where you take a few deep breaths, you lower your shoulders, you smile, you notice the colors and the nature around you. And third, perhaps ask your boyfriend to slow down and give you the chance to initiate. You can discuss what it feels like to feel pressure or expectation around sex, and see what's going on in his mind, because perhaps you're misperceiving the situation. Also, you could ask him for more of priming the pump. That's what I like to call it. It's time for you to get out of your head and present in your body and to be able to enjoy physical sensations. Okay, overwhelming sensation. I hope this gives you some direction to take with this. Good luck. Now, in conclusion, I want to thank you to our live audience for being here to talk about sex. Yay! You can find me online at drjensden.com and on Facebook and Twitter at drjensden. And let me know if you'd like to work with me for some one-on-one counseling or coaching in person or via Skype. Now, don't miss the funny or outrageous outtakes after the credits. And as always, be kind to yourself. Anybody else have any thoughts of how they would have answered that Dear Dr. Jen question?
Oh, thank goodness it's not just me.